And he's been around a long, long time as we get a look at the man. He pro debuted back in 1975. And he'll be fighting Larry Holmes in a 2-round exhibition here. And he is a hulking figure of a man, is Bernardo Mercado.
Let me point out, it's a 4-round exhibition. Bernardo Mercado is going to fight 2 rounds with Holmes. Then Quick Tillis is going to come in and fight the last 2 rounds. You're looking at a man who's beaten Trevor Berbick.
Right.
Beat Ernie Shavers. And, of course, has been in with Leon Spinks when it was something to be in with Leon. And Randall Tex Cobb.
So he's been in with the best. He's been rather inactive, but we just see him walking around the hotel this past week. And he is certainly a very big man who packs a wallop. And he'll come in tonight. I got a feeling we'll probably see some pretty spirited action because Larry's here to entertain, but he also has a lot of pride.
Well, Larry's here for, a variety of reasons. Of course, he came on tour here with this band that did 2 performances with Kool and the Gang in concert.
Right.
And I think he wants to, just get the feel of the ring, get a little bit of the smell of the dust into his nose, and make a decision whether he really wants to make a serious comeback. And the heavyweight division, if there's a time to do that, it's now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout coming away is a special attraction. 4 rounds of exhibition boxing featuring well-known heavyweights in the world of boxing. First, I introduce to you the very outstanding heavyweight in the ring at this time, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing black trunks with red trim and hailing from Monterrey, Colombia. His record, 33 wins, 5 defeats with 28 big wins by way of knockout. He is the current Colombian heavyweight champion, the longtime outstanding heavyweight contender. Welcome, Bernardo Mercado.
We get a look at Bernardo Mercado.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you his very well-known and popular opponent, who is at this time in the dressing room about to make his way to the ring. He will be fighting out of the red corner and wearing black trunks. Hailing from Easton, Pennsylvania, his record, 48 wins, 3 defeats with 34 big wins by way of knockout. He's really needing no introduction the world over. One of the all-time great heavyweight champions of the world. Welcome, the Easton Assassin, Larry Holmes.
Young MC at Kiss FM.
Well, as much as Muhammad Ali had the city aglow this week, so did Larry Holmes.
Here comes
I wouldn't even venture to guess how many people stopped him to take pictures with him, autographs, came out to see his band perform, and is certainly quite a legend over here as well.
He is now 40 years old, and some people feel this might be a prelude to a comeback. He watches another 40-year-old by the name of George Foreman making the big bucks and thinks that if he can do it, so can I.
The one and only Larry Holmes. The referee now to give instructions for this 4-round exhibition, Sudarsono.
There we get a look at the former champion, and he, of course, is on a losing streak since his...
See over in Larry's corner, by the way, very popular ex-contender, Sal Mombi, fighter out of Bronx, New York.
As we see the action there is Bernardo Mercado from Colombia, and he'll put his big body against Larry Holmes' body here. 2 rounds of boxing with these 2 gentlemen, and then after Larry gets done with Bernardo, then James Quick Tillis rolls in to take on Larry for 2 rounds. It's an added attraction here at Senayan Indoor Stadium in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Mentioning Sal Mambi fought in the first world title fight ever staged in the country of Indonesia. A country that most people don't realize is the 5th largest population in the world, almost 200 million people squeezed onto all of these islands over here.
As we see the action, 2 gentlemen who have never fought, but we'll see the action right here. Round number 1 of 2. This is just an exhibition, but you'll see some heated exchanges, we're sure.
And here we go. See if Larry still has that patented sharp, snappy Larry Holmes jab.
Larry hasn't seen action in some 2+ years, ending up on the mat against Mike Tyson back in January of 1988. He told the Indonesian press when we flew in on Thursday that he would consider coming back. No guarantees, but we'll see.
Well, coming over on the plane with Larry, we talked about it a little bit. They were really comes down to money with him. Otherwise, and he has plenty of it already. But that's about the only thing that would coax him out of retirement. He felt there was only 3 credible pay-per-view type fights out there for him that the public would take seriously. One of those being a 3rd fight with Michael Spinks, with both of them coming out of retirement. And both of those last 2 fights, with both of them being very close, with Spinks getting the decision both times. Another one he mentioned was a fight, of course, with the other old warrior, George Foreman. The 2 of them never did get the fight the first time around. And the 3rd one would be a WBO heavyweight championship fight with Italian champion Francisco Damiani. So those are the 3 fights that if he does come back, Larry's looking at. But important to point out, tonight's just an exhibition. Larry did not train for this. And is, by all accounts, we've been partying pretty good here in Jakarta.
Yes, and it has been a hospitable time here, shown the Americans who flew over the past 7 to 10 days. There's been dinners and parties, and Larry's been part in the center stage in all of them.
Well, Larry opened up on that last combination against Mercado here, so we might see it. Some punches start to fly here as the cordialities, as you will, are going to be thrown out the window.
Bernardo Mercado had a rather meteoric rise in the heavyweight division. He won his first 20 fights and then 17 by knockout, and then he ran into a gentleman by the name of John Tate and Mike Weaver, and got knocked out back-to-back fights and pretty much just slowed his career down. Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin, coming back for some little bit of workout here. Still showing some pretty good bounce to the legs. We will continue from Jakarta. More boxing exhibition with Larry Holmes after this. Stay with us. And we thank God there's no shortage of Vaseline here, Arnie. It looks like the former champ is definitely has his dose on right now. As look, Mercado's really turning up the heat here a little bit.
Yeah, well, you've got 2 warriors in there, want to show their best. There was a little hissing and booing here by the crowd, who may have anticipated something a little bit different when they got here. And I don't think Larry, would like to come home back to the States with any kind of a nasty cut. So you're going to see a lot of Vaseline out there, and as much caution as possible.
Trying to pick up the paces, Bernardo Mercado, and Larry Holmes came over here and was honored last night at a dinner and sang with his band, and gentleman just living a good life, really.
Well, and he deserves it, Huey. He was a very good champion, defending the title a lot, made some money, invested it in his hometown of Easton, Pennsylvania, owned some buildings as a hotel, a restaurant. That's why it would take quite a lot to coax him out of retirement. Crowd giving him a lot of trouble here right now, though.
Larry Holmes had 20 successful title defenses from 1978 through 1985. Unfortunately, he ended his career on a 3-fight losing streak, twice to Michael Spinks, and of course, once to Mike Tyson, an ill-advised comeback in 1988. We'll have to see what his future plans will be, but as we said, he trained little for his exhibition tonight, but snapping the jab out there against the Colombian Bernardo Mercado. 48-3 was the former champion. Came within one fight of tying Rocky Marciano for the best record by a heavyweight.
And that was a bit of a disappointing night, obviously, for Larry. I don't know if everybody remembers, there was a lot of ballyhoo made about that record. They brought Rocky Marciano's brother into Las Vegas for the week, Peter Marciano. Quick Tillich just walked behind us. He's getting ready to come into the ring. And then not only did Michael Spinks become the first light heavyweight in history to beat a heavyweight champion, but Larry didn't take it too well in the post-fight press conference. But of course, has since apologized, and I think everybody's understood the situation at the time.
The jab working quite nicely for the former champion, who's picking up the pace here just a little bit. After Mercado had a pretty impressive first round, it's been the former champion, Larry Holmes, keeping the heat on as we round up the wind-up, I should say, the first 2-round exhibition. Still to come tonight, of course, the main event, Tim Witherspoon on the card against Greg Gorell. Witherspoon currently ranked by all the governing bodies as we wrap up here. 2 rounds, but it's not over for the Easton Assassin. Nice exhibition by Bernardo Mercado.
Well, I'm sure Larry